Welcome back everyone. So in today's video I will be showing you how to set up a DBT Cloud connections with Snowflake data warehouse. Once we have our connections ready, also I will show you how you can use DBT to transform your data in Snowflake, and also how to integrate DBT Cloud with GitHub for version control. Alright, so the first thing that I would like to show you is the Snowflake environment. Okay, so we'll go to Snowflake and then we'll set it up. We'll come back to DBT Cloud, we'll set it up, and then we'll also do the GitHub setup as well. And then from there, we will transform our data, run the DBT process, and just see how the environment looks like when you're using DBT Cloud. Okay, so right here, this is my Snowflake data warehouse. I am logged in, but if you do not have an account with Snowflake, you can go ahead and create a trial account. So if you go to Snowflake right here, you can just go to the link, and I'll put this link in the description, but just go to snowflake.com and you can start a free trial right here. You do need to enter your name with your email address, and then just go ahead and sign up as a student if you like, or if you have a company name, you can do the same thing. You can see here they give you 30-day free trial, which includes 400 watt of free usage. Okay, so just go ahead and do that. I already did that, and once you're ready, this is how the Snowflake UI looks like. All right, so what we want to do now is to set up our environment, and basically this is 2025. The UI keeps changing, so you know, sometimes the UI may not be exactly the same way, but this is how it looks like in 2025. All right, so once we are here now, what I like to do is to go ahead and set up our data environment. Okay, so I will just click here where it says data, and as you can see, this is the databases that I do have. So what I will do here is to create a database, and the database that we will be creating in this scenario is the one that we will connect to our DBT Cloud environment. Okay, so I will go ahead and create a database here. You can also use a script. Okay, I'm just going to use a UI in this case, and I will call this one DBT Cloud. Let me just make it, I'll just make it uppercase, but it doesn't matter, it's not case sensitive. So DBT Cloud, and I'll go ahead and create this. All right, so you can see that we have our database created here now. Okay, right here. And then after that, the default database comes with public schema and information schema. I am going to create a schema here again inside this database, and we will call it raw schema. And this is the schema that will be holding our raw data. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so our schema now has been created, and the last thing that we want to do here is to create a database, create a table and then load some data to that table. Okay, so for that I'm just going to open a new editor here, right? So I'm going to if you just click here, create, we want to open a new worksheet. That is the editor for our environment here. I'm going to select here the database, and then I am going to select so we want to select the schema here. So you can see here it's defaulting to public. I want to create a table inside raw schema here. Okay, again, you can use an existing table if you already have a table, but if you just want to follow along, this is how I will do it. Okay, now one thing that you will notice here is the data warehouse, right? So we do have here a data warehouse. Data warehouse is like the compute that you want to that you will use to run your queries, right? So if we go to right here, I think it is in your warehouses. So if you go to your warehouses right here, you will see that currently I only have one warehouse that I created. But if to create it, just go ahead and create it, put the name here, just create it. So I do have one warehouse here. This is the one that we'll be using. Okay, so let's just go back to our editor now, right? So this is our editor. We are inside our DBT Cloud database and our raw schema, right? So what I would like to do now is to create a table that we will be using in our transformation. Remember, DBT is a transformation tool, and what that means is that you can use DBT to transform your data once the data is available in your data warehouse. So we don't usually use DBT to ingest data. So in this case, what I'm doing is basically loading data into my database. So however way you get your data into the environment doesn't matter. But in this case, I'm just going to create a table using a regular DDL. And for that, I'm going to leverage ChatGPT. So I'm just going to bring ChatGPT up here. And what I'll ask ChatGPT is to create an order table. So I will just put a prompt here. Create for me a orders table in Snowflake for maybe, let's say, 20 records, right? 20 records. So what DBT will do here is it's going to give us the DDL and then as well as the insert statement. So I'm just going to copy this and I will just paste it right here. Okay, so this will create a table inside the raw schema. Okay, so you can see we have order ID, custom ID, order date, status, total amount, payment. Yeah, so you can also just create your own table, really. I just want to make it easy for us to do this. So I'll go ahead and hit execute now, and this one has created the table now. So if you refresh the database here, you can see that inside our schema we have the orders table now created. And then let's go ahead and also copy the insert statement for the rows for that, for the data, the actual data. So I'm just going to go down here. I will paste it right here. Okay. I will also put this one in the repo in case you just want to copy this exactly. And then we'll just go ahead and highlight this and click run. Okay. So this is going to insert the rows, and as you can see here, we have 20 records now inserted into this table. So if we refresh this now and just click here, and I think if you want to fill the data, I believe there should be an option here to fill the data here. So just click this here, and looks like we don't have it, but we can query it directly. So we're just going to, I'm going to open a new tab here, and we are basically just going to go into that schema, and we can do select stuff from orders, right? So just run it, and you can see here we have our data now, right? So you can see we have 20 records, order ID, custom ID, and the rest of this other information. Okay, so now we have our table created in Snowflake, and now I think that is it for Snowflake. So the next thing that we want to do now is move over to DBT Cloud and set up that environment as well. But before we do that, let's actually do the repo, because that will make it easier for us so that we don't have to go back to GitHub. So I will go back to my GitHub, and I am logged into my GitHub account. So you can also use GitLab or Bitbucket, whichever environment that you use to do your version control or to host your version control. DBT Cloud supports it. So for this case, I'm using GitHub, right? So what I will do here is I'm just going to create a new repo here, and we'll name this one DBT Cloud. And what I will do after that is, let me just actually do DBT Cloud demo, right? So just create the repo name, and then I'm going to make this one public. I will add readme, and then we'll go ahead and create this. So this will create for us an empty repo in our GitHub account, right? So I do have this one ready now. Okay, so that's it. So let's go over now to DBT Cloud. Okay, so DBT Cloud, for you to be able to log into DBT Cloud, so you can just, if you type DBT Cloud login in your browser, you can see this is the website, www.getdbt.com, right? So just open that. Now, what you want to do once you're here is, if this is your first time to try DBT Cloud, then what you want to do is to go here where it says try DBT for DBT Cloud for free. Just click here and enter your information right here. So you want to enter your email ID here, the first name, last name, company, password, okay, and the rest of this information. So when you do this, you will get a email, of course, through the sign up. You'll get an email to confirm your email and all of that, and then you'll go ahead and get a trial. So you can see here you can try this for 14 days. Okay, so this gives you the full capabilities of DBT Cloud. After 14 days is done, then you can downgrade to developer account, or you can upgrade to one of the enterprise versions. So I'll just show you that. So once I'm logged in, so this is my login here. So what I will show you here is I'm just going to go to my account settings right here. Okay, so if you do this, you can go to, if you go to billing right here, so you can see currently that I'm using the developer plan, but you can also, if I click here upgrade, you can see the other plans, right? So you can see the tiers that we have. So again, once your trial is done, when you go back, you will see that you have the developer edition, and this one is free, but the only limitation for this is you only get one seat. Okay, so it's only one user for this. Now these are some of the other tiers, so you can use a team plan and upgrade this. So this will be $100 per month, and we have the enterprise edition. So if you're just playing with DBT Cloud, then this should be sufficient. But if you are working in a team, then you might want to try this option or go full enterprise. Okay, so these are the plans that we have currently. Again, I'm using the developer plan, but the UI doesn't change, right? So the UI will just remain the same. So I'm using currently the developer plan. Okay, so now this is the dashboard. So I'll just show you the dashboard. And now what we want to do in order to connect to Snowflake from here is down here in the left bottom right left corner right here. This is your profile. So what you can do here is, if you click this and go to your profile, you will see some of the options showing up here. So we have the account here, which contains your account information, basically your DBT Cloud account. You have your projects here. If you have any projects here, by default, I think analytics shows up by default. So basically this is where you create the project. And then we have integrations, and integrations is basically how you can integrate to GitHub, Slack, and things like that. And then we have connections here, and connections here is where you create your connections to your data warehouses or your databases, right? So you can see here we have a number of connections. We have Snowflake, Postgre, BigQuery, Redshift, Databricks. Okay, so we'll come back to this later. You have your users here, so you can see now currently I only have one user here. But if you were working as a team, then you probably will see more users under this section here. This is your billing, API tokens, your personal profile, security, and all of that, and credentials. Okay, so this is how this one looks like, and we will be using this page a lot in this video. So now, in order to make the connections to Snowflake, what we want to do is I will now go back here. Okay, yeah, again our profile. So the first thing that we want to do is to create our project, right? So we have our project here, and I'm going to delete this, and I'll show you how this one will be looking like. Again, I only have, you only get one project if you're using the developer edition. So I'm going to delete this, right? So that I can show you from scratch how to set this from the beginning. Okay, so you see here, we don't have any project now. So what we want to do here then is we'll go ahead and create a project. But before we do that, let's go ahead actually and create our connections. Okay, so let's go to connections, and what we want to do is to create connections to Snowflake. So I'm going to hit here where it says new connection, and we want to make connections to Snowflake data warehouse. So I will select Snowflake for this. And then here now we want to enter our details right here. Okay, so the first thing we need to put here is the account details, and this is the account information that we need to grab from a Snowflake environment. So for this, I will go over to Snowflake, and to get the account details, once you're logged in, if you go to the account button down here, just select that and then come to here where it says account, and then fill details for this account. And what you want to do is just grab this identifier right here. Okay, so if you just copy this, just copy that, and then go back to your cloud platform and then paste that right here. So just paste that as it is. You don't need to change anything else. And then here it's asking us for our database now. So the database that we created is what we want to specify for that. So that will be DBT Cloud, right? So that's the one we created. So we will just enter that one here. It doesn't have to be uppercase, so it can be small letter as well. And then the warehouse is our compute warehouse. So for that one also, we are only using this one here, demo warehouse, in my case, right? So just create and specify the warehouse here, and then after that, you can specify the role, but I'm not going to do that. So that's all I need to do here, and then we'll just click save right here. Okay. So you can see here, we have not entered the password and the username, password, and all of that, right? So for that one, we will do it inside our project right here, or we can do it inside credentials as well. So there are a few ways of doing that. But now let's go back to our project, and what we want to do inside our project here is we want to create a new project. By default, this one is saying analytics, but you can change the name for this. I'll leave it as analytics, and then we'll go ahead and click continue, right? Now, the next thing that is asking us to do here is to enter the connection name. So I will now select Snowflake. Now Snowflake is the connection that we just created, right? You could also just create your project, and then when it prompts you to enter the connection, you can click create connection. Then from there, just go and do the same thing. All right, so we have entered our connection here now. So you can see now here it's asking us for development credentials. So this will be basically the information that we have in Snowflake. So this will be the username that we use to log into our Snowflake. In this case, this is a demo user. And then right here, we just need to enter the password, right? So I will put the password here for this user. And then for the schema, this will be the schema that DBT will use to write our transformed tables to. So for this, I'm going to name this one as DBT Kalekem, like that, right? And this does not exist in Snowflake, but when we run our DBT models, this DBT will create this and then build our transform tables there. Okay, so just enter any name here. Just this will be again the destination where DBT will create our models to in Snowflake. Okay, and then after that, you can change the target name here. So this target name, basically, this is like our profile. If you've been following some of my videos, or if you have worked with Snowflake, sorry, if you have worked with DBT CLI, right? So this will be equivalent to the target in your profile. So you can leave it as default, or you can name it as dev. So I'll put this one as dev. And let me see actually if I can show you how that might be looking like in DBT core, right? So if you use a CLI version, okay? So I have a profile set up here. So basically we are just entering similar information. So in this case, the target that we have specified here is dev. So some of the other targets, right? You can do UAT, you can do prod, things like that. So that's basically what it means. And this helps you when you're just structuring your environment. So anyway, I'll leave this one as dev. You can also leave it as default. And then we'll go ahead and now test the connection. So if you hit test now, we'll see if there's any problem with the connection. And this might take a few seconds to connect. So basically, yeah, it's connecting to Snowflake, and as you can see, this one is complete. Your test completed successfully. So that means that we are able now to connect to our Snowflake. All right. So again, here, the thing you need to do is basically after you create your connection will not ask you to give the password, but then you can do this in your project, right? So we are now able to successfully connect. Go ahead and save it. And once you save it now, the next thing that we need to do here is to set up our repo, right? So you can see here, choose a repository to store your DBT code, okay? And we have already done that. So we have set up our GitHub environment, right? So we have our repo and everything. Probably the only thing we haven't done is to connect to our GitHub. Let's see if we can do it here. So we will go ahead and hit GitHub right here. So you can see no repos found. So it's asking us to connect to GitHub account. So let's go ahead and do that. I will actually do it in a new tab. Let's see. So I'm going to click it in a new tab, and so you will see here it's taking us back, right? So what I would like to do is to go back to our profile right here, and maybe we should have done that at the beginning, but basically when you go to your profile, and let's open this in a new tab here, what you want to do inside your profile, inside your personal profile, is to go to linked accounts. So you can see here we have GitHub here, and let me just unlink this and show you how it's probably going to look like when you haven't done that, right? So inside your profile, again, go to personal profile, come to your GitHub here, and then we'll just click here where it says link. And now that we have linked, we need to go ahead and configure it, okay? So just click here where it says configure integrations, and this should bring you to your GitHub account, and then just select that, and you scroll down here. It's asking you if you want to give access to all repos or only select repos. I'm going to go with this one, only select repos, and we want to select now the repo that we created, okay? So this will be DBT, and that was this one here, DBT Cloud demo, right? So I select that, go ahead and install it, and then I just need to log in here to my GitHub account to give access, right? So this will give us access to DBT Cloud, and there we go. So that means that we have now done this successfully. So let's see if we can go back to our setup, and I might have lost that. Let's see if we can do that. I'm going to refresh this one here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we have to do that. We just have to go through that process again. So I'll just do that quickly. Just need to enter our password here. Okay. All right, so all of this remain the same. Okay, and then I'm going to reduce the threads here to 3, test the connection. Okay, connection is good, so just go ahead and save it now. And now we will just go ahead and now set up our repo. So just click GitHub here, and now our repo is showing up, right? So our repo is showing up now as DBT, so just select that, and from there we go. So you select the repo, and then now our IDE is popping up here. So what we want to do now is to just go ahead and click here where it says start developing an IDE. So DBT Cloud contains its own online IDE, so you don't need to install any additional tool. So all of this will be done in the browser itself. So I'm just going to click this one here, and this is now going to launch our IDE, right? So this is going to launch our web browser IDE, and then from there you can see now that it's showing up here. Now the only thing we just need to do now is to go ahead and initialize this DBT project right here. So just click this, and this is going to initialize your project. And as you can see, it's also connected to our repo now. So you can see the repo is showing up here, and we have now our DBT structure initialized. And as you can see now, we have your structure, right? So analysis, macros, models, seeds, snapshots, tests, all of that is showing up. Again, that is similar to if you have been using the DBT CLI version of it. So you can see I do have a number of them here. Like for example, this is the Snowflake CLI, and I have videos for this, so you can take a look on them as well if you want to use the CLI version. But you can see when you initialize the project, it gives you just the same structure: analysis, we have packages, logs, macros, models, seeds, snapshots, and all of that. So the same structure is also what we see in the cloud version, right? All right, so we have this now. So the next thing that we want to do now is to test if our connections to Snowflake is working. Okay, so I'm not going to push anything yet, but to test our connections, kind of like the DBT, basically, if you go to the models here, right, you can see, and actually let me just show you that. Inside the models here, we have the basic skeleton structure. So if you open this file here inside your models, you can see that we have this file here. So basically this one is not getting from any source, but it is basically just unioning, selecting one as ID and null as ID as well. Okay, and that's the model here. And then we have the second one here, basically getting from the first one and filtering for where ID is one. And this is a schema. We have the schema here, and the schema here is basically defining our models. So you can see for the first DBT model here, we have the description and the columns here, and the tests that we want to carry out against these columns. So you can see here we have, for example, ID will be the unique one for the first DBT model, and then the second DBT model, the ID as well is the unique one. And if you also go back here, you can see that this first DBT model is, we are materializing this as a table. So that means that when we run this model, this is going to be created as table in Snowflake as well. And that second one here, this will be created as a view. And the reason for that is if you go to your DBT project here, you will see that looks like we have this to be materialized by default as a table. So we'll see. Looks like this might be created as a table, but sometimes this one is going to be created as a view. So all right, so now we have our skeleton model here. So to test that this one is working properly, right, that is to make sure that we are able to write from DBT Cloud to our Snowflake environment, right? We need to run DBT run here, but before we do that, let me just go back here and make sure that inside here, okay, so you can see in Snowflake we have only raw schema which contains our table. But when we were doing our setup here in DBT, we specified that the and if you go to your credentials here, right, and then go to the analytics, which is the project we created, we specified that our schema that our models will be created is this one, DBT Cloud. So that one does not exist in Snowflake right now. But when we run our DBT model, we expect that to be created here and the models to be built inside that schema. Okay, so what we expect to do to see here again is we want to run this, and we want these skeleton models or starter models to be created in Snowflake. So for that, right in the bottom here, you will see that there's a box here that you can enter your commands, right? So we are going to, the first thing that I want to do is to compile this. So I'm just going to run DBT compile, and then just click enter. And basically what this is going to do is to compile our model and see if there are any issues. So you can see, looks like we have issues, and the thing that we see here, if you go into the details here, or the summary, says CLI invocation created, code unexpected extra argument, DBT compile. So I don't know why that is. Oh yeah, because DBT run compile, it should be just DBT compile. Okay, and then let's run it again. Okay, there we go. So our DBT compiled successfully now. Okay, so now since our models compiled successfully, then the next thing that I will do is just to go ahead and then just run DBT run. So DBT run. So DBT run is going to run all of our models and then build them in Snowflake or our database. So I'm just going to click enter now, and this is going to build and run our models. So you can see this one completed, and it's also completed the second one as well, right? So both of the models completed running, and if you see the logs, you can see that this model was created with this schema or under this schema, and that's the name of the model. And this is also a table. So you can see this is currently, both of these are material as tables. In CLI world, the starter creates this as a view, but it looks like in cloud, this one is being materialized as a table. And again, I showed you it's because of this one right here. So if you change this to a view, then by default, the models will be created as views. Okay, so we have run our models now, and they successfully run. So let's go back to Snowflake and let's refresh our database now. And as you can see, we have now another schema created here. So let's go expand this, and you can now also see that we have both of those models created right here, right? So if you click this, right, so you can preview the data right here now. So okay, so if you preview data here, you will see that we have 2 records here, and that's the first model. And then for the second model here, if you click also this and preview the data here, you will see that we only have 1 record here, and that's because in our model here we only specified that we want to filter this for ID number 1. That's why we are getting only 1 record in Snowflake environment right here. Okay. All right. So you can see now that we have successfully built our models. Okay. So we have run our models here in the cloud, and we have successfully built them, compiled them, and then after we ran these models, they were built in Snowflake without any issue, right? Very good. So I think at this point now we are able to determine that our DBT Cloud is able to communicate with Snowflake, and it's able to write our transformed models to Snowflake. So what I want to do now is to actually use data that is in Snowflake environment itself. So remember, this one is a starter model. We did not, this one comes with the setup. So now let's actually use actual data in Snowflake environment. So for that, we can use the table that we created, right? So remember the beginning, we set up this table here, and we do have order table here, and this one contains data. If you preview this, this is the data that we have here, right? So we want to use now DBT to transform this data. Okay, so what we want to do for that is, I will go back here to DBT, our DBT editor here, right? Our online editor here. And the thing that I want to do here is, I'm just going to copy this one here. I will copy this model here. I will just copy this. And what I will do is I will get rid of this. I'm going to delete this example one, right? And we are going to create our own. So for that, I'm going to go inside models here, and then I'm going to create a folder we'll call this one orders, right? We'll call this one orders. We'll create this. So we have orders folder here now, and inside this order folders or orders folder, we'll put our models in here for our order table. I'm going to create a file here. The first file that we will create here for our schema. So I'll create a schema.yaml, and that is going to contain our schema, right? Our models. I will paste that, and we will come back and modify this. The next thing that we need to do now is to put our actual model that is going to transform our data. So for that, I will create another file here, and I will call this one orders.sql. So models in DBT are basically SQL select statements. Okay, so I'm just going to create that. And now, right, so this is how models look like in CLI, and I just quickly want to show you how they might differ slightly. So in CLI, what you usually do is you define your sources, right? So you define your sources like this, and then you come to your model itself, and then you reference, you write your transformation, and you use changer templating. This one is still relevant in DBT Cloud, but there might be some slight variations. I don't believe you need the source in Cloud. You just need to put your SQL query, and it's going to do the rest for you. So what we want to do now for our SQL model here is to write our transformed query. For that, I'm going to go back to here, and we'll ask to write transform. Let's say transform this order data for a DBT model. Okay, and then we'll run, and then so you can see, let's see if it's going to give us a table here, right? Okay, so this is what ChatGPT has given us. We'll copy this, and then we will go back to our IDE here, and inside our orders.sql, we'll paste this one right here. Okay, and so you can see here, this is a transformation query, and yeah, so basically this is just doing some transformation. You can see this one is doing order and casting this as an integer, custom ID as an integer, order date as a date, and doing lower on status, converting total amount to numeric with this, and the payment as a string. Okay, now for the source here, you can see that this is using the changer template. So if you have been working with CLI or a DBT core, you will probably you are familiar with this. This is how we define it in DBT core, which is a CLI version of this. So you define your sources, right? So in your schema, you define your sources, and in your models, you refer to that, right? So that is basically what this one is equivalent right here. So for this case, since we're in cloud, I don't think you need this, right? So what you want to do here is basically just refer to your actual table. So in this case, we are using our DBT Cloud database, right? So that is what we have in Snowflake. So we'll just put it here, DBT Cloud, and then we will put our raw schema right here, right? So raw schema, and then the name of our table is orders, right? So that is the name of our table. And then, yeah, so just run through this. This is, I think this is looking good from what I see here. So we are creating our first CDE here, and then down here we are selecting from this first CDE, doing some additional extraction here, and then we are filtering out cancel status. So we are not getting cancel status for this, and then basically just returning everything, right? So we are selecting everything from the cleaned CDE here, right? So what I will do now is I'm going to save this. So just save this, Command S on your keyboard, or just you can just save it right here, right? And then the next thing that we want to do is we want to go to our schema YAML here. And so in this YAML here, basically we want to enter the name of our model here, which is orders. In this case, we are calling our orders, you can put a description. So for this one, I will just say this is orders model, right, like so. Our ID here in this case is order ID, right? Order ID will be our primary key for this table, right? And if we are going to be running this, we want to make sure that this column here is unique and does not contain null records, right? So this is good enough for me. We'll go ahead and save this, right? And now the next thing that we want to do is to compile these models now. So for that, we'll just go ahead down here and run dbt compile again. Okay, so we run dbt compile, and let's see if we have an issue. So you can see now our models compiled successfully. You can see we have our model here, no issues, and even the checks as well, right? That means that everything is good. And now what we can do here is basically just go ahead and execute this. So we'll go ahead and run dbt run. Okay, so this is going to now go through our models, and if there are any issues, it's going to run. But looks like we have a syntax error here. So if we scroll down here, create or replace view, okay, where could the issue be for this? Okay, so you can see in the logs here, looks like we have a syntax error here. So we have a comma in our model, and looks like DBT does not like that. So let's go back to the model here and see if we can find that. All right, so we have a comma at the end of this. So DBT does not like that. So just go ahead and remove that and save it. And then let's do the run again, okay? dbt run. Okay, so let's see if it's going to run this time. There we go. So this one successfully went through. Okay, there we go. So now we are able to successfully run our model, and you can see it's been built in our DBT target destination, right? Or our schema destination. So let's go back now to Snowflake. We refresh it. And if we go to our schema now, let's see if that one was built. So it looks like that one was created as a view. So there it is. It's created as orders here. And if we preview the data for this, there we go. So you can see now we have our transform data, right? So you can see we have the order ID, and in this in the records here, we are not in the status, right? We don't see cancelled orders, because that's what we specified in our transformation query, right? All right, so you can see now we are able to actually write now to Snowflake, and we have the view here. So let's see if we can turn this into a table. So if we go back to the model here, I think there are a few ways of doing that. If we go back to, you can do that inside the model here, or if we go up here, you can put a config block right here, right? I think that's, it looks like this. We put config, and we can do here materialized, and we can say this one materializes as a table, right? And we save this. Let's run it again. So let's run that, and so if this one goes well here, this should be created as a table in Snowflake. Okay, there we go. So you can see this one runs now as a table. So if we go to Snowflake now and refresh this, there we go. So we can see now that this one has been created as a table instead of a view. And if you preview this data here, gives you the same information, right? Okay, so you can see that when we define our materialization here, again, using this config block, the table gets created in Snowflake as a table as well, right here, okay? So you can also change it to a view if you want. So you can change this to a view, and when you run your DBT run, it's going to be created as a view right here in Snowflake environment as well. Okay, so we have now successfully transformed actual Snowflake data. And again, we used the raw data here in Snowflake for this order table. And we transformed that data using DBT in DBT Cloud. And as you can see, we are able to successfully write that transformed data to Snowflake. And now if you have another team or a reporting team that wants to use this data, then they can come here, just consume this data directly from here. And then now DBT becomes your transformation tool, right? So from here now, you can expand this. You can do all of your transformations within DBT Cloud itself. And then when you're done, just execute it or have a job that is running. And then it's going to be loading your data to Snowflake, and your team now will be using this transform data, and then DBT becomes your tool, right? Okay, so now that we have done all of our transformations and we have tested that we are able to write this data to Snowflake, and we can transform Snowflake data within DBT and write our transform data back to Snowflake. Now the last thing that I want to show you is how to push these changes now to our GitHub repo, right? Now before I do that, I just need to lift the DDLs that we used for this video. So I'm just going to grab this, I'll copy this, and then I'll come back to our IDE right here. I need to, inside models here, I will create a folder for DDL. I'll call this one DDL. DDL, right? And then inside DDL, I will just create a file called DDL or maybe orders DDL. Orders DDL.SQL, right? And then I will just go ahead and paste the script that we used to create our table, right? So that if you want to just copy this and run it, then it will be available for you in the repo. Then I'll go ahead and save this, right? So we have everything that we need now. Then to push this to GitHub, there are a few ways of doing that, but since this is our first time, I'll just go ahead and commit this. So just commit and sync. So if you click commit and sync, you can see here it's saying commit this to a new branch, which is ideally what we need to be doing. So I will just call this feature and then maybe Snowflake, right? And let's do this one, DBT Cloud connection to Snowflake, right? Then commit these changes, okay? So now this is going to commit our changes to our feature branch in GitHub, right? So you can see it's now checked into that feature branch right here, and everything now has changed. That means that we have successfully added and committed our changes. And now, in order to merge those changes to our main branch, if you go back to your GitHub's repo, right? So this is a repo that we are using. If you just refresh that, you can now see that we have two branches here. Okay, so we have that branch that we just created right now, and you can see that it was updated right now. If you go into this branch, you will see the changes right here. So you can see we have all of our changes. If we go to models here, we should be able to see our DDL here, and as you can see, we have the DDL as well right there. If we go back to orders, you can see our schema as well as our model, right? There we go. Now if you compare that to the main branch, so you can see the main branch does not have the changes yet. So let's go ahead and create a pull request. So I'll go ahead and we'll just navigate within this repo to pull request here. We'll create a new pull request. You can see here this is the arrow. That means this is your source, and we want to push this to the destination. So for this, we'll select feature branch as our source, and then main will be our destination. You can see also we are getting this message able to merge. That means that we can go ahead and merge these changes to our main branch. I will go ahead and create this pull request. Okay, so DBT Cloud connection to Snowflake, that's fine. Okay, as our title, you can put the message here if you want. We'll go ahead and create this pull request. Now, if you're working as a team, then you will want to add reviewers here. So, somebody else in your team to review the changes and approve them. In this case, I don't have any of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and you can review the changes here, right? So you can see the files are changed here within this request. So basically this is everything that we did. So to me, it looks good. And then we will just go ahead and merge this request, right? So just go ahead and merge this request and then confirm the change. And there we go. So this request now has been merged to our main. So you can see here it's merged now. So if you go to our main branch now, we can see our changes in the main branch right here, right? There we go. So you can go into your models. You will see the DDLs here. So we have the DDLs here. So if you want to copy this, then you can just come here and copy this script, put them in your models, and then run them in your Snowflake environment. And then you can copy this one as well. So yeah, this is our repo now, and it has all of our models there as well. Okay, and if you go back to your DBT Cloud environment, you can see that everything is looking good, right? There we go. All right, guys, so that's all I wanted to show in this video. I just quickly wanted to show you how to connect your DBT Cloud with Snowflake environment, and we did that. So we went through the process of setting up our Snowflake. We created our database, created our schema, loaded data. We went to DBT Cloud, and then we set up our environment. So we went through the process of creating the connections. So we created our connections to Snowflake, right? And then we created our project, which we connected to our repo. Okay, and then in our credentials here, you can see we have our connections, right? That's where we define them. And then at the end, we were able to write our scripts using the Cloud IDE right here. We created our models, and we were able to push these changes to GitHub, right? So you can see here now it's saying pull from main. So you can go ahead and just go ahead and do that. So you can pull, and you have your changes now pulled from here. There's a lot more with DBT Cloud, and I know I did not cover everything within this video, but in the next videos, I will be digging deeper into DBT Cloud. We will go ahead and connect to more data warehouses. So I will be releasing more videos to connect to warehouses like Redshift, for example, BigQuery, and just dig deeper into some of the more features that are within DBT Cloud. So definitely do stay tuned to the channel, and one way of doing that is by subscribing. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up as well. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.